Hello all, this is Ultimate Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Decepticon Fracture from the Transformers Robots in Disguise line. Now before we take a look at the figure, let's just take a quick look at the box. And you can see on the box that it has a picture of Fracture in his vehicle mode, and you've got a picture of him in his robot mode. Turn it to the side, you've got the same picture of him in his robot mode. And if you turn it on the back, you have the instructions showing that he transforms in 11 steps and how to transform him. You also see a picture of him in his robot mode and a picture of him in his motorcycle mode. It also shows you the app and that you can scan the Decepticon symbol on his chest and you'll be able to play Fracture in the video game app. So that's enough for the box. Let's take a look at Fracture. And this is a figure that I like. I have to admit. The color is good. Looks a lot like the cartoon version. And it looks nice overall. It's got a good design. And it looks very much like a motorcycle like Fracture's supposed to be. It does have a weapon here on the side that blends in perfectly with the bike to make it look like it has like an exhaust pipe on the end. And let's see, it has a kickstand here. And when you pull that kickstand, it doesn't really roll all that well, but I don't think that I really expected it to. But yeah. And so let's do a quick comparison between Fracture and the Deployer Fracture here. And so you can see this is the Deployer Fracture, the earlier version that came out. And I think that the Warrior Class Fracture here looks a little bit better than the Deployer to me. Looks a little bit more like an actual motorcycle and not quite as bulky, especially since this one has the Deployer thing here on the side, which kind of unbalances it. Plus, this one I think has a little bit more seeable robot, especially with the head, because even when you try to cover it up, it's very difficult to cover up the face on this one. But yeah, so I think this one, the Warrior Class, does a lot better of hiding the actual robot body. You really don't see it even when you look down here at the bottom. It looks very much all bike and the parts are hidden. So yeah, I think that between the two, this one is a better representation of the Fracture character. So let's go ahead and get Fracture transformed and into his robot mode. Now to transform him into his robot mode, the first thing we want to do is to remove the weapon. Then we can pull out the legs from the bottom. So we can pull these out, and that will allow us to pull out the arms and pull out this arm. And then we can lift up the front tire. And before we do that, actually, let's separate this part here at the top, the seat, and that'll pull out the shoulders and pull the arms fully out. And since we've done that, let's pull out the hand. And we can pull out this hand. And that snaps down. And then we might as well pull the legs all the way down and pull them apart. There you go. They slide out. And pull down the feet. And then we're going to take this part and pull this up and flip it all the way around so that the head comes out. And then this part we're going to push this down and then take this part where there's a bend and pull this up and turn it to the side. And there is a notch right here and a hole right here, and we can just plug that in there. And there you have Decepticon Fracture back in his robot mode. Now in his robot mode, Let's go over the articulation really quick. You can see that his head moves side to side. Doesn't move up and down, but it does move side to side, so you have some head tilt. The shoulders can go up a little bit, a little down, and they do turn in a full 360. The arms can go in this way and out. The upper part of the arm does turn. It swivels. And he does have a elbow bend. And his hands can move in and out. The waist really does not swivel. The legs are on a ball joint, so they can go backwards and forward. They can also twist completely around. And he does have knee joints. And here his feet can go up and down due to the transformation. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as his articulation goes. He does have this weapon here that is transformable. It looks like a exhaust when he's in his bike mode. But now that he's in his robot mode, you can flip this part out. And you've got two handles, so he can hold it in a couple of different ways. He could hold it here. I guess if he's just carrying it in his hand, not really ready for battle. So he can just hold it like this and just walk around with it. Or he can also hold it like this as a pretty long gun. Or like a rifle, sort of, hold it with two hands. Which is the way they show it on the box. He's kind of holding it like this with both of his hands. Or he also has a hole on his arm where he stores it when he's in bike mode. And you could still use it in this version. You could just put it right here on his arm. Like that. Or flip it a little. Flip it up. It's a little bit tougher because of his shoulders. But you could flip it up like this. That looks a little weird. Or you could fold it in. Fold it up. Like this. And stick it in there and kind of have him go all Megatron. Give him a bit of a Megatron look there with the gun. Let me see if I can get it in here. There it goes. The gun kind of sticking here off to the side. But anyway, those are just some possibilities that you could use. You could have it there. But overall, he looks pretty good in his robot mode. And for a quick comparison, let's compare him once again to Deployer Fracture. And you can see that they are roughly about the same height. Which I was actually a little surprised with because I thought that the Deployer was a little bit bigger. But no, the Warrior class is the same height as the Deployer. And I still think that the Warrior class Fracture over here does a better job of representing Fracture as a toy. And one, because it has a lot more articulation. And that would probably be my major reason, is because of the articulation. This one doesn't have very much articulation because it was more focused on the gimmick of shooting the Deployers out, the Minicons out. And so, they didn't do too much as far as like the articulation, while this one is much more movable and he's got a lot more joints and things. So let's take this guy out of here, and now we're going to transform Fracture back into his vehicle mode. And to do that, we are going to take off the gun here, and we are going to go to the back here, pull this down, straighten that out, and then pull this part up, straight up in the air, and then push it all the way through so that the head flips over and collapses in, and you got the front of the bike there. Then you want to take the shoulders, push them up over the seat, and they have two spots where they connect. So you want to connect them together, and then you can push the hands in and push this hand in on this side. And then you're going to, there's a notch right here. You're going to put that into the hole right here on his hand. And you just pop that in there, and that gets his arm nice and tight. And you can do that on the other side. Find the peg and push that in this little hole. This one doesn't seem to want to go for me. Let's try. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we can take the legs, and the legs have a little peg here and a hole there. You want to connect those two together. Then you want to fold in the feet, and then you want to curve the legs down, and you'll see that the legs have two holes here on the feet. There are two little notches here, right up here. Can hardly see them with all that purple, but there are two notches right there that will plug into those holes. And so you just want to put those in. And let's see if I can get this other one. A little hard to see. I'm making this look a lot harder than it is. But yeah, so you want to put those right there in that hole. And then you want to come to the front of the bike and just make sure this part is standing forward. And there you have Fracture back in his vehicle mode. Now he has his kickstand you can put down so that he stays up properly. And then his gun, you just fold it down on itself. And it's got the little peg hole right here. You just plug that in the side. And once again, he is back in vehicle mode. And like I said, he looks great. I like this figure. I definitely recommend him. If you were deciding to choose between whether you wanted the Warrior class figure or the Deployer figure, I actually think the Warrior class figure is a better figure overall. But, you know, why not get both? Anyway, that is the end of this review. I'll definitely have some more reviews coming soon. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And until next time, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.